Hey everyone, I'm Jen Garrett, and welcome to the Move the Ball podcast. On this podcast, we are going to talk about how to succeed in business and in life by putting winning strategies into practice to help you advance faster. So if you're looking to move forward and reach that next level of greatness, then you are in the right place. Now get ready. Let's suit up, show up, and move the ball. Hey everyone, Jen Garrett here. It's so great to be back with you on another episode of Move the Ball. This episode is part of my special Path to the Draft series, where I'm having conversations with NFL draft prospects on their path to the draft. So today, inside the huddle with us and ready to share his story and talk about his path to the draft is Woody Brandom. Woody is a tight end who played the last 2 seasons at Sam Houston State and also participated in the 2020 NFL PA Collegiate Bowl. Prior to that, he spent time playing ball at Riverside Community College and Montana State. In high school, Woody earned All-CIF honors as a tight end and safety at Corona Santiago High School, caught 52 passes for 880 yards there, and was voted Most Inspirational Shark by his teammates. Woody, welcome to the show.
Hey, good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate you being here with us. And I want to kick off our conversation in a different way than some of the other episodes in this series. I mentioned that you were voted Most Inspirational Shark by your teammates. Tell us what that was about and what is it that you do to bring energy and inspiration to your team?
Yeah, so my sophomore and junior year, I played offensive tackle, played right tackle for those 2 years. So being able to become a tight end in 1 year, it took a lot of energy. It took a lot of focus. It took a lot of hard work. So I think my teammates seeing that and seeing the production that I put out that season really solidified me as the most inspirational.
Talk to us about what was it like playing tight end at the collegiate level, and what skills do you think are necessary to be an exceptional tight end?
Yeah, playing at the collegiate level was amazing. Being on 3 different teams, I was able to learn a lot. And I think mostly the physicality is what separated, the men from the boys. Being able to hit as hard as you can every single play is really what determines if you're ready for the next level or not. And I believe I am definitely ready for that next level.
So you were one that also got to play in the NFL PA Collegiate Bowl, which for those who are listening that may not be familiar, it's a postseason college football all-star game. So elite players get invited to participate. And so you were one of them. Talk to us about what it was like to get that invitation and play in that game.
Yeah, it was honestly such an amazing experience. Being able to meet with NFL coaches and being on an NFL type schedule was awesome. The food was absolutely phenomenal. Practice was fun. It was energetic, but it was light. Like you could tell exactly what the NFL was going to be like. Meetings were a blast. Meeting all the scouts. There was hundreds of scouts there daily. Not really towards the end of the week, but the first 2-3 days were jam-packed. Your schedule was, you're waking up at 6 a.m., going to bed at 10. It was hectic, but it was super fun. And if you're able to get an invite, man, I would take it and run. It was a great experience.
And so for those that aren't familiar with the NFL PA Collegiate Bowl, it's not just the game and that event. There's all these events that are leading up to a great food, as you mentioned, but you have these NFL coaches and teams talking to you. You have the NFL PA talking to you about what it's like to play in the NFL and the business side of it. So can you share with us some of the things that you've really taken away from that week?
Yeah, so my tight ends coach Chris Cooley, he was a 10-year plus vet for the Redskins. He really taught me exactly how to read film and how to read the entire play instead of just looking at your own specific position, like what the running back's doing, what the tackle's doing, what the quarterback's reading. That was really cool to learn, and it helped me have a bigger perspective of what I'll be learning in the NFL. I think being there, I learned exactly how practice is going to be ran and how vital it is to take care of your body and to learn your plays, because if you don't know your plays, you're not going to get reps. And if you're not getting reps, you're not going to be on the team. Making sure that you have a clear head, a focused mind, and a ready attitude will really help.
I think that's important that you share that, because even if we're not looking to go into the NFL, those are things that are important for us beyond the game as well, being able to have that clear mind, that mental focus, right? So I appreciate you sharing that with us. Now, let's step back and just tell us, how did you get into football? What was your path?
Yeah, so my path really, I've been playing football for so long. My dad was a head coach for a Corona High School for a really long time. And so growing up, I was always around the football guys. I grew up a ball boy playing football in the back of the end zone during the games. Just always been a fan, always been a roughneck kind of guy, just trying to get in dirty, just trying to impress my dad, really. I was just trying to be a good football player because he played at the University of Arizona. 3 years started there. He played with the Arizona Cardinals a bit. So football's always kind of been part of the family, what really kept us strong and united together.
What excites you most about the game?
Rocks my socks is being able to just pancake somebody. Like the feeling of defeating your opponent is just the most exhilarating experience you can get. I mean, just putting someone to the dirt is so fun, and catching the football and like running and breaking tackles, hearing the crowd scream and roar as you're making plays is really just the best feeling ever. It's a high that I really won't get tired of ever.
Gotcha. So share with us, what was your most memorable collegiate game?
So, shoot. Well, there's probably two. So there's Nicholls State. These are both my senior years. So Nicholls State had a really good catch and run for about 62 yards. I had broken a few tackles, spun, and broke out, and it was really fun. And we ended up beating the number 8 team 17-0 at home, which was great. And then the second game has to be HBU, where I caught my first collegiate touchdown as a Bearcat, also coming down with 7 receptions for 100+ yards, which was my best receiving game by far out of the 2 years.
And so you mentioned your dad played collegiately, he played in the league. And so you've been around football your life. Is there anything that your dad really shared with you to help you become not only a better athlete on the field, but a better person off the field?
Basically, if you want to commit to something, you have to commit 100%. There's no, I'm going to work out this day and take the rest of the days off. No, if you want to put in the work and you want to get to where you want to go, you got to put the work in. You got to mentally prepare. You got to wake up every morning knowing that you got to put on your big boy pants and you got to get to work. And so every workout I went to, if I didn't want to go or if I wanted to go, it didn't matter. I was going. So he taught me hard work pays off and just to believe in yourself.
And you bring up a great point, because if you do want to, no matter what it is your goal is, you have to be 100% committed. And I talk a lot about how commitment is doing the things that you need to do, whether you want to do it or not, right? It's going to those practices, it's going to those workouts, even when you're not feeling it, it's doing the things that you need to do if you want to achieve the goals that you want. So I appreciate you sharing that. So talk to us about, how do you bounce back after a loss? Because that's something that people off the field deal with all the time. We have these outcomes that don't go as we want, and we have to just be able to bounce back and keep moving forward. So how do you deal with bouncing back after a loss?
After a college game, let's say you lose a game on the road and you got a 6-hour drive back, the first thing I do is pick a playlist of music, more like soothing music, and I'll just reflect on the night. I'll think back and watch film and try to see exactly where we went wrong, some things that I could have done better. So again, I go back to the film as soon as I can to watch and see what I could do. And then what's most crucial is the next day. The next day, you gotta man up. You gotta hit the weight room, squats as hard as you can, and just move on to the next game. There's no point in having sorrow for the game past. No, you got to move forward. You got to put a smile on your face, and you got to get back to work, because there ain't no time to sit around and soak in your sorrows. So
I think so many people, an athlete or not, we get caught up in something not going our way, and then we just remain stuck there. We don't focus on, I got to move past that, let that go, and keep moving forward, right? So I think it's important that we take a little bit of time to reflect. Don't play the victim mentality, or don't play the victim, right? And just figure out, how do we improve? How do we move forward?
Exactly.
So Woody, one question that I really want to ask you about is, I know you've been asked in other interviews if you love to win or if you hate to lose. What have you said? What's your answer to that? Do you love to win or hate to lose?
Yeah, I hate to lose. I absolutely despise losing. It's the worst feeling in the world, knowing that you put in so much work through off season and even through the week of preparation. Just going in there, like, let's say you just lose by 3 and you lose on the offensive possession, last drive. It's just, man, what could I have done to do better? Like, it's just so hard to lose.
And so how do you take that hate to lose mentality and then apply it to be able to move the ball forward?
To turn the next page and just try to look at the film and see if you could do any better, to see ways you can improve, to focus on your weaknesses and not your strengths, and just try to improve each week.
So what I want to do now is I want to ask you just a couple fun questions to end the show. First, tell us, what's your favorite food?
So my favorite food has to be Mexican food by far. Tacos, tostadas, burritos.
Okay, great. How about what's your favorite football movie?
Probably got to be We Are Marshall.
Okay, that's a great movie. I love that one. How about your favorite professional sports team? Doesn't have to be a football team.
Yeah. I'll say the Angels. The Angels have been crucial growing up here in Corona. So, yeah, the Angels, I guess.
Okay. Gotcha. Are you a big baseball fan?
Yeah, I love going to games. I love the atmosphere. I don't really watch it too much on TV, but I'll go to a game if I can.
Okay. If you could be any superhero, who would you be and why?
So I would most likely be Superman. I love to fly. I would love to fly, and just being the most powerful being on the planet and in the universe would be spot on with me.
Gotcha. And lastly, tell people, how can they follow you? Where can we follow your path to the draft and beyond? What social channels are you on?
Yeah, so my @ for Instagram and Twitter is just my name, Woody Brandom. No space, no underscore, no nothing like that, just straight Woody Brandom. I don't really tweet too often. I'll retweet stuff, but like once this starts picking up, I'll probably start tweeting more and posting more about, NFL and all this good stuff. So yeah, just Woody Brandom, and give it a look.
Okay, great. And we'll be sure to put all of your social links in the show notes so people can follow you on your path to the draft and beyond. So thank you so much for being on the show, Woody. It's been great having you today.
Yeah, thank you. It was a great experience.
And I wish you much success in the draft and in this next chapter. Thanks to everyone for listening to today's episode, and we will catch you next time. Until then, make sure that you suit up, you show up, and you move the ball.
Thank you for listening to Move the Ball. To see more about what I'm up to and how I can help you to move the ball, check out my website at www.jenniferagarrett.com. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast so that you never miss an episode. And also join the Move the Ball Facebook group for even more content and to be a part of the Move the Ball movement.